Welcome to the HK Backyard Bowl 2.
Oh, man, here we go.
Yeah, we are officially in the post-draft fallout zone. It is a beautiful Monday, August 24th, 2026, and we have so much to get into today.
We really do.
I mean, we are tearing into an absolute goldmine of source material today. We've got the official text message transcripts, the draft board data, the physical combine results from this incredibly high-stakes fantasy league.
The receipts? We have all the receipts.
Exactly. We have the receipts. And our mission today is we're going to unpack the psychology of draft day panic.
Yes.
You know, that absolute war between human intuition and Silicon Valley algorithms, and really just exactly what happens when pride, ego, and a lot of cash collide.
Oh, it is the glorious train wreck.
It is. But, I mean, I have to start with the single most chaotic visual of the entire weekend.
Oh, my gosh. I literally have not stopped laughing about this text thread for 12 solid hours.
Yeah.
Just picture the anxiety for a second. The countdown clock is ruthlessly ticking down, right?
Right.
It is exactly 7:25 p.m.
Yeah.
The draft officially starts at 7:30 p.m. Hawaii time.
Yep.
And where on earth is the guy holding pick number 12?
He is physically walking off a tarmac.
I mean, you can't make it up.
You can't. Mikey lands from Maui. He pulls out his phone while, fighting through baggage claim traffic, and he realizes he has exactly 5 minutes to prepare his entire season strategy.
5 minutes.
5 minutes, and he just blasts the league text chat with 2 words. Just, God damn it.
That was it, out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere. The entire league is sitting there prepped, and he's just panic texting from the airport.
It is the absolute peak of fantasy football theater. I mean, the panic radiating from that text message is completely palpable. You can physically feel the sudden realization that all those mock draft, all that preseason spreadsheet analysis.
Yeah, the spreadsheets.
It means absolutely nothing when you were just trying to find a semi-stable Wi-Fi signal next to a luggage carousel.
But here is where it gets really interesting, and we have to look at the macro picture here, because, I mean, we have all been in Mikey Ayers' shoes, right, where a plan falls apart and you have to rely on sheer adrenaline.
Sure, yeah.
But Mikey Ayers' situation is unique because he actually dictated this chaos. He absolutely dominated the draft order combine.
You really did.
He put up 143 points. He had his choice of literally any slot on the draft board, and he actively chose pick number 12.
Which is just, it's a choice.
Right. For anyone newer to draft mechanics, he wanted the snake turn. He wanted picks 12 and 13 back-to-back so he could control the positional run.
Right, the wraparound.
Exactly. He had this whole mastermind plan, and then it instantly devolves into a Tarmac panic attack. Yet somehow, the guy builds a monstrous roster for Poi Dog Syndicate.
I still don't understand how he did it.
I am looking at his official squad right now, and he casually snags Patrick Mahomes and A.J. Brown while probably waiting for an airport shuttle bus.
It makes absolutely no sense on paper, but it works. And there is a real psychological mechanism at play here, I think. When you have 30 seconds on the clock and you are hauling a carry-on bag, you don't have time to overthink.
No, you definitely don't.
Your brain it stops processing complex analytics and switches purely to muscle memory and pattern recognition.
Yeah.
He saw the names Mahomes and Brown, and his thumbs just took over. Adrenaline essentially saved him from his own overanalysis.
Right. It is the fantasy equivalent of a 2-minute drill in the Super Bowl. Your pre-snap reads go out the window, you stop trying to play chess, and you just react to the defense in front of you.
Exactly.
He trusted his depth because he had no other choice. But, and this is the crazy part, while Mikey was drafting on pure, unadulterated adrenaline, other owners in this league decided to lean on sheer, undeniable cowardice.
Oh, I am so glad we are pivoting to this, because the anti-robot sentiment in this league's text chain right now is absolutely nuclear.
It's toxic.
It is. And to understand why people are so mad, we have to remind everyone exactly what is on the line here, because the stakes this season are terrifying. We are looking at a $3,600 total pot.
That is a lot of money.
It is. $1,500 goes directly to first place.
Which is a beautiful, life-changing payout for a backyard league, you know?
It is. But let's be entirely honest with ourselves here. The $1,500 is a secondary motivator.
Oh, absolutely.
The primary motivator in this league is absolute terror. The sheer existential dread of finishing in 12th place.
The seller.
Because whoever finishes in 12th place this season is legally obligated by the league constitution to completely fund, plan, and execute next year draft order combine and party.
It's brutal.
You literally become the league's party planner. You become the help for 11 of your friends.
It is the ultimate social humiliation. I mean, the sociology of friend group dynamics is brutal enough. And knowing that, you would think these guys would take their rosters seriously, meticulously curating their lineups.
You would think.
But instead, we have Thomas. And I am putting Thomas and Playas and Hustless on absolute blast right now.
Here we go.
This is a former Navy rescue swimmer, a semi-pro rugby player, a guy who is quite literally built for physical endurance and grit. And what did he do at the combine?
It was so bad.
He scored an embarrassing 20 points out of 400 in backyard lawn games. 20 points!
Just humiliating.
That means he basically showed up, tripped over a cornhole bag, tossed a football backward, and called it a day. And how does he follow up that tragic athletic performance? By completely surrendering to the algorithm.
Oh, it's wild. I am reading Thomas's text to the commissioner verbatim right now, pulled straight from the screenshots. He said, setting my shit on auto draft. I've never heard of a single person on my auto draft team.
The absolute audacity to just hand your roster over to an AI in a high-stakes league.
Oh, it gets worse. His follow-up text sent directly to the group chat says, "You're welcome and watch me win on some beginner's luck auto draft bullshit."
I cannot handle the apathy. I really can't. And he wasn't the only one. We have to talk about Matt.
Oh, Matt.
The owner of Bear Down was completely missing in action for the first 30 minutes of the draft, just totally ghosted. Then he finally strolls into the text chain and says, "When is the draft? No punctuation, just sleepy vibes."
Yeah, I was completely checked out.
He let a robot pick his entire team. And this is right after his wife, Kelly, graciously subbed in for him at the physical combine and scored exactly 0 points in golf chipping. 0 points.
Bless her heart.
And his response to that is to just let the Silicon Valley bots take the wheel.
Okay, I am going to jump in and push back here, though. I am going to play devil's advocate for a second.
All right, let's hear it.
Because let's look at the actual rosters the robots spit out. The algorithm handed Thomas a lethal combination of CeeDee Lamb and Travis Etienne.
Well, yeah, sure.
That is elite Tier 1 volume. So the question is, what if this Silicon Valley crutch actually saves these guys from 12th place?
No way.
What if the computer is fundamentally smarter than human bias? The algorithm doesn't have a favorite team. It just strictly weights positional scarcity, floor projections, and injury risk. It mathematically insulates you from your own stupidity.
Okay, that is a fair point about the baseline floor, but I fundamentally reject the premise that an auto draft can win a championship.
Really?
Yes, a computer doesn't know how to manage a bye-week crisis. A computer doesn't know how to hustle on the waiver wire on a Tuesday morning when your running back goes down. The robot drafted a clean team, sure, but it handed the keys to an owner who literally admits he doesn't know who the players are.
Well, that's true.
An algorithm can build a car, but Thomas doesn't know how to drive it.
Exactly. And this contrast gets even crazier when you look at the human drafters. Because while the robots were coldly and cleanly auto-drafting these safe floors, the humans who actually showed up to this draft drastically overthought their way into absolute madness.
Oh, they lost their minds.
They really did. I need to passionately defend Commissioner Keone for a second here.
Oh, here we go with the Packers homer defense. I knew this was coming.
Listen.
Yeah.
Keone agonizingly secured pick number 1 for Sun Knowles of Lombardi.
Yeah.
After an incredibly stressful second-place finish at the Combine. He had the world by the tail.
Yeah.
But Keone is a diehard Green Bay Packers fan. It is in his blood.
Right.
And where did the mathematical reality of the draft board force him to go? He texted the group, and I quote from the source file, "I knew I should have drank tonight."
That is so funny.
Because his Packers-loving soul was forced to draft a Chicago Bear, Caleb Williams, and a Detroit Lion, Jahmyr Gibbs, to lead his offense.
The psychological toll of that has to be devastating.
It's just terrible.
Having to actively root for your divisional rivals to score touchdowns every Sunday just to avoid being the league's party planner, I mean, that hurts. But what is truly fascinating is how that trauma immediately caused his brain to short-circuit.
Wait, what do you mean?
Let's look at his 14th round pick. He drafts Micah Parsons, a phenomenal defensive player, but one who is starting the year with an injury designation. Now, the rest of the league is completely confused, but Keone thinks he is playing 4D chess.
Oh, the master plan.
Right. His grandmaster plan is to immediately move Parsons to the IR slot, put in a waiver wire claim for linebacker Alex Singleton, and drop his actual Packers quarterback, Jordan Love.
See, I love this macro-level strategy. I really do.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't obsess over roster rules, an IR slot lets you stash an injured player without them counting against your active roster limit. So Keone is gaming the system. He is stacking defensive volume and manipulating the waiver wire before the season even starts.
No, no. It is a prime example of a commissioner completely outsmarting himself.
Ow. It's brilliant.
Because to execute this convoluted plan, he left his 17th roster spot completely empty. Who leaves the 17th roster spot empty on draft night?
I mean, it's a flex.
It's not a flex. You draft a high-upside rookie. You draft a lottery ticket running back who might become a starter if an injury happens in week 1. You don't just leave a blank space on your bench because you're trying to outmaneuver the waiver wire algorithm. The opportunity cost of that empty seat is massive. It's totally delusional overmanagement.
Well, speaking of delusional overmanagement, let's talk about Martin and Swole Batman.
Oh, let's...
Because Martin decided that the early rounds of a fantasy draft were the perfect time to secure a kicker.
Unbelievable.
He drafted Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey absurdly early, and then literally apologized in the chat to Wade for stealing his team's kicker.
It's just bad math. The point differential between the number 1 kicker and the number 12 kicker over a whole season is practically a rounding error, yet he spent draft capital on it.
It makes no sense.
And then, as if that wasn't enough of a red flag, Martin drafts Mikey Lemon to his bench.
What?
His justification. He texted the league, "When life gives you lemons," and then actually predicted that Mikey Lemon is going to be the Rookie of the Year.
Based on what?
Based on nothing. Which prompted Nainoa to text back, "Martin, you fricka."
Which is the only appropriate response to that level of draft board hubris.
But Nainoa wasn't immune to the paranoia either. This is where human emotion really destroys fantasy rosters, I think.
Yeah.
Look at the wide receiver madness between Nainoa and Malala. Smell my flag is on the clock, and Malala threatens the chat, saying, "Nah, if you don't take Tate, I will." Talking about Carnell Tate, obviously.
Right.
And Nainoa, managing Tighten Up, responds that he actively avoided Tate because he is going to get doubled the whole year.
The overanalysis is just staggering. This is exactly why the auto-draft bots might actually have an edge.
It's exactly like a defensive coordinator seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
Nainoa is overanalyzing a wide receiver's projected coverage schemes in August to the point where he is passing on undeniable target share.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Here's the reality check, right? If a guy is getting double-teamed, it means he is the first read on every single play. You want the guy who demands a double team because sheer volume trumps coverage efficiency every single time in PPR formats. Passing on a player because they might get double-teamed is just pure paranoia.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Okay, but this theory in psychology, that's all hilarious. But this battle between gut instinct, algorithms, and sheer paranoia isn't just theoretical.
No, it's happening right now.
It is defining week 1. So we need to shift this to the head-to-head tactical breakdowns. Let's look at the week 1 matchups. And per our mandate, we are putting our reputations on the line right here.
You have to.
We are picking opposing winners for every single matchup, no exceptions, based entirely on these distinct drafting strategies.
Let's get right into it. Matchup 1, we've got Commissioner Keone and Sonas of Lombardi taking on Matt Ayer's totally auto-drafted Bear Down squad. This is the ultimate man versus machine matchup.
It really is.
I am firmly backing Keone here. I love his heavy defensive build. Grabbing Zach Bone and Danielle Hunter, that is elite tackle and sack upside.
Okay, Barb.
He has a macro strategy, even with the empty roster spot, which I hate. But he knows what he is trying to do, and active management always beats a sleeper cell owner.
I cannot disagree more.
You're taking the robot.
I am aggressively backing Matt's auto-drafted team. Keone is playing with fire by leaving that 17th roster spot empty, and the algorithm handed Matt an unbelievable floor with Justin Jefferson and Josh Jacobs.
It's a high floor, I'll give you that.
You cannot overthink that kind of guaranteed volume. The robot wins this one, and Keone's empty bench spot is going to absolutely haunt him on Tuesday morning when he needs depth.
All right, well, we'll see. Matchup 2, Thomas and Playas and Hustless versus Wade and our year. Apathy versus extreme loyalty. I am siding with Thomas on this one.
You're kidding.
I am not. I do not care that he only scored 20 points at the Combine. I do not care that he admits he knows none of his players. The sheer dumb luck of an auto draft handing you Trevor Lawrence and Garrett Wilson is simply too much to bet against. It's too strong.
Absolutely not. I am vigorously defending Wade and his Cowboys loyalty.
Shocker.
Hey, Wade drafted Derrick Henry, okay?
Yeah.
He actually utilizes AI prompts to optimize his specific flex plays rather than just letting the computer blind draft his entire team.
So he uses a slightly smarter robot.
And Most importantly, he cares. Thomas scored 20 points out of 400. You do not reward that level of physical and fantasy apathy. The fantasy football gods demand a toll, and Thomas hasn't paid it. Wade takes this easily.
Wow, bringing the wrath of the fantasy gods into it. I love it. Okay, matchup 3. We have Ammon running Ham Bones.
Damn.
Hamill's last sandwiches against Ninoa's tighten up cold business versus sheer desperation.
Oh, this is a good one.
I am taking Ammon. He paired Brees Hall with Puka Nakua. That is lethal point per reception production.
It is a solid pairing.
And I just love his cutthroat mentality. When the Rams fans in the chat got mad at him for his picks, he just coldly stated his picks were strictly business decisions. Cold-blooded execution always wins.
No way. I'm taking Nainoa on pure, unadulterated desperation.
Desperation.
This is his redemption tour. He lived through the nightmare of 12th place last year. He knows what it's like to be the party planner. He is going to rely on Devon Achane and Alvin Kamara out of the backfield, and that sheer panic of repeating last place is going to drive him to manage his waivers perfectly. Motivation beats cold business.
That is a fascinating angle. I guess fear is a powerful motivator.
That's the most powerful.
Matchup 4. Mikey's Poi Dog Syndicate versus Malala Smell My Flag. The Tarmac draft versus the rebuild. I have to praise Mikey here. To land from Barry, open your phone in a busy terminal and reflexively draft a super team featuring Trevan Henderson and Devonta Smith.
It is crazy.
This legendary muscle memory. Mikey takes it.
I am actually siding with Malala here. Yeah, Bijan Robinson and Terry McLaurin's a fantastic core to build around. But I will issue a massive reality check right now. Malala is relying heavily on Bo Nix at quarterback.
Oh, that's risky.
If Bo Nix does not perform immediately, Malala is going to need to call HI State Construction for a total roster rebuild by week 3. But strictly for week 1, I think they squeeze out a victory against the Tarmac team.
Just barely, maybe. All right, matchup 5. Peter and his Ham squad taking on Samoa and turn off the lights. Give me Samoa.
Interesting.
I love the Raiders-fueled grit, and drafting the Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley backfield is an absolute masterclass in securing high-volume goal line touches. When in doubt, bet on the running backs who get the ball inside the 5-yard line.
I have to defend Peter here. Talk about grit. The man was on daddy duty with a sick 2-year-old daughter fighting through domestic chaos and still managed to draft Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle.
That is pretty impressive.
That is elite. Multitasking under pressure. The dad strength alone carries Hama to a week 1 win. Samoa's running backs are great, but McCaffrey is a cheat code.
Fair enough. Dad strength is a real analytic. I can't argue with that.
You really can't.
Final matchup, matchup 6. Joe managing average Joes versus Martin's a swole Batman. Spreadsheet probability versus chaotic energy. I am glazing Joe's spreadsheet right now. He built a roster featuring Dak Prescott and Jamar Chase.
It's a very clean roster.
He is a stat monster. He plays the baseline probabilities. He avoids early kickers. And over a large enough sample size, the math always wins.
And I am backing Martin's chaos.
You're backing the early kicker.
Lamar Jackson has the highest rushing floor of any quarterback in the league, which mathematically offsets the Brandon Aubrey kicker blunder. I actually kind of respect the chaotic early kicker strategy because it totally throws the draft room off balance. It makes other people panic.
It does cause panic, I'll give you that.
But I will say, if Martin stumbles out of the gate, his son Luka might legitimately have to step in and manage the lineup by week 3.
Honestly, Luka might run a tighter ship.
He probably would.
All right, let's bring the energy to a peak here because we are moving from predictions to pure accountability. It is time for the hot seat.
Oh, my favorite part.
We have looked at the combine scores, the draft boards, and the text messages. And I'm speaking directly into the microphone to Thomas right now. Thomas, playas and hustlers.
Listen up, Thomas.
20 points out of 400 in the combine, buddy. You cannot hide behind an algorithm when 12th place means planning a lavish party for 11 guys who are openly laughing at you in the group chat right now. Wake up and look at your waiver wire.
If you want to talk about losing a grip on reality, I am pulling out one final text message receipt to prove this league is already fracturing before a single real snap of football has even been played.
Oh, what do you have?
Look at this screenshot of a trade offer. Martin, in all seriousness, offered bottom-of-the-bench receiver Matthew Golden to Keone in exchange for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Wait, what? A bench receiver for a premium early round running back?
Yep.
The psychology of an insulting trade offer is fascinating. It's not even a negotiation, it's just sheer disrespect to see if the other guy is asleep at the wheel.
Exactly. And Keone's response was perfect. He didn't even dignify it with words. He simply replied with a GIF of Snoop Dogg smoking, directly implying that Martin is utterly, hopelessly delusional.
That is incredible.
The psychological warfare is already at mid-season levels, and we haven't even hit Thursday night football.
It is beautiful, terrifying chaos. So, what is the ultimate takeaway for the owners listening right now? Check your waiver wire priority immediately. Do not leave your 17th roster spot empty like the commissioner, because every bench spot is a lottery ticket.
Please draft someone.
Yes, literally anyone. And remember this, a $1,500 check for first place is incredible, but surviving this season without being relegated to the league's party planner is the only true victory.
It leaves you with a really profound question, though. As these auto-draft algorithms get smarter, as they get better at analyzing risk and spitting out optimal floors, are we heading toward a future where fantasy football leagues ban them entirely?
That's a great point.
Or will fantasy football just eventually become 12 Silicon Valley supercomputers mathematically fighting each other to a draw while we just sit around drinking beer and watching?
Yeah.
Does human intuition, even the panic-induced Tarmac kind, still have a place in this game?
That is the ultimate existential question for the HK Backyard Bowl, too. Will the robots reign supreme? Or will a guy who drafted in 5 minutes at baggage claim take home $1,500?
We're going to find out.
The clock is ticking on week 1, gentlemen. Set those lineups, trust your gut, and whatever you do, do not let a robot dictate your destiny. We will see you next time.